At the CBC, we'd recently filmed the life of 19th century French actress Sarah Bernhardt, starring Zoe Caldwell, and it was due to be aired in a month or so. I got a call from a publicist representing Sir John Gielgud, who I consider to be British theatrical royalty. He happened to be in Toronto, and his friend Zoe Caldwell wanted him to see her performance in Sarah. Since John Hirsch was out of town, I managed to get permission from one of the producers of the film for Gielgud to see it the following morning. I excitedly put a tray of croissants and orange juice and coffee, as well as flowers, in the screening room and prepared for the arrival of this icon of British theatre. A couple of people in the casting department wanted to know what the fuss was all about. And when I said that Sir John Gielgud was coming in, well, they didn't seem to be as impressed as I was. Maybe that was the difference between the fact that I was British and they weren't, and perhaps he wasn't as well known to them. Incidentally, for anyone else who isn't familiar with Sir John Gielgud, he's one of only a handful of actors who received an Oscar, a Grammy, an Emmy and a Tony. Not bad. The receptionist called me to say that the renowned actor had arrived, without an entourage, I might add. He wore a lovely suit and a hat similar to a fedora, a class act and a real gentleman. I introduced myself as I took him along to the screening room, and he thanked me as I settled him in to see his friend's performance as the controversial actress Sarah Bernhardt, who's known to have actually slept in a coffin. I met Gielgud after the screening, and in his charming and understated manner, he thanked me again as I showed him to the elevator. Oh, it was such a thrill for me to meet him. A few months later, I was working with another renowned British actress, Maggie Smith, before she became a dame. John Hirsch had been asked to direct Chekhov's Three Sisters at the Stratford Festival Theatre in Ontario, and the CBC agreed to give him a leave of absence for a few weeks. It came at a time when he was having quite a few artistic and personality conflicts related to productions, and he was very frustrated by the lack of support from the heads of production. It was usually related to funds available, or more accurately, not available, in order to make first-class shows, which was John's priority. So I think he was relieved to be able to get away and do what he loved the most, directing theatre. Chekhov's play was particularly significant because it reminded him of his family and his life in Hungary. Maggie Smith would be playing the role of the middle sister, Marcia, with two Canadian actresses completing the trio. John asked if I could go with him for a couple of weeks and assist him. Primarily, he found the process of giving notes to actors during rehearsal tiresome. So he would dictate them to me at the end of the rehearsal, and I would hand out typewritten notes to the actors, who all thought it was a bit strange. Of course, John only gave notes personally to Maggie Smith and the other two actresses playing the sisters. They had the greatest respect for John, and Maggie said he was the best director she'd worked with. That wasn't always the case, though, and John was often hard on actors who couldn't seem to deliver the performances he wanted. One afternoon, I left the theatre to go on an errand for John while he was rehearsing the actors. It was a warm, sunny and bright July day, and when I returned to the theatre, going from bright sunshine to very dark, I couldn't see a thing. I fumbled around for a seat, and suddenly there was an almighty scream from Maggie Smith. "Who are you? What do you want?" she declared very indignantly. It seems that the seat I chose happened to be the one she was already sitting in, and I was on her lap. We had a laugh about that. Sitting on Dame Maggie Smith's lap was, fortunately, not the end of my career, and I later went on to work with John Hirsch when he produced the Canada Days show in Ottawa. My job was to scour the country and find talent representing Canadians of every nationality for this annual televised show. It was quite an undertaking and had never been done before, but I managed to pull it off and was given a certificate of appreciation and recognition for contributions made to the show by then Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. Hundreds of people were involved in the show, but only 50 people were given this award, and I was one of them. I felt very honoured indeed. When John Hershey's contract at the CBC was due for renewal, it was almost a mutual decision that he would move on and continue directing theatre, specifically in America, which is where I long to be. However, it wouldn't always be possible for me to go with him, and as fond as I was of John, I knew that I had to make my own way, and I also needed to move on. It was then that I was offered the position of unit production manager in the TV variety department of the CBC, which was only the next floor up from the drama department. I was nervous about this new job, managing budgets for panel games, talk shows and variety shows. I never liked maths at school and was rubbish at it, actually, so you can perhaps understand my apprehension. The head of TV production, Hugh Gauntlet, had more confidence in me than I had in myself. When I expressed my doubts, he said, "I know you can do it. I have great faith in you, Marie." When someone believes in your abilities, it's amazing the confidence it can engender. I didn't have much encouragement when I was growing up, especially from my mother. Consequently, I was very insecure. If you're being fed negative messages and being told that you're not good enough, it can be difficult to erase these tapes from your consciousness. It could even take a lifetime. But any kind of positive reinforcement can make the world of difference. The certificate of appreciation from Pierre Trudeau is a prime example of that. Now, back to the story. "I won't let you down," I told Hugh. His belief in my abilities gave me the impetus to succeed. But I wasn't at all confident as I sat at my desk facing files of the various shows on which I would be working, and I didn't have a clue what to do. The woman I was taking over from was being moved to the sports department because she'd gone over budget on a panel show, hiring a helicopter to take her boyfriend, who was one of the stars on the show, for a personal appearance unrelated to the CBC show. But she didn't get fired. No one seemed to get fired at the corporation. If people made mistakes who weren't really good at their jobs, they would just move to another department. Dead wood was the phrase commonly used for these people. Anyway, this woman was not inclined to help me, since I'd come from management. "Good luck," she said, as she trounced out of the door. The head of TV variety, Jack McAndrews, who was tall and resembled a lumberjack with his big black beard, red and black check shirt and heavy boots, came into my office. "How's it going, Marie?" "Oh, it's a bit overwhelming," I told him. He sat down. "Well, you know," he said, "it's just common sense. It's like when you go shopping. You've got $20 to spend at the store to buy your essentials, and you can't spend more than that. Well, it's the same with these shows. You can't spend more than you have." Even though the budgets for the shows I'd be working on were in the region of $500,000, when Jack said it's common sense, I totally got it. Those 3 simple words took all the mystery out of the situation, and I was ready to get stuck in. One of the shows I worked on was called Beyond Reason and featured a group of experts from various paranormal specialties attempting to find the identity of hidden guests. The 3-member panel included an astrologer, graphologist and a clairvoyant. The astrologer was given the guest's birth date, the graphologist a handwriting sample, and the clairvoyant a personal item from the guest, which could include a watch, glasses or jewellery. On one occasion, the film director Otto Preminger gave his hearing aid. The clairvoyant would hold the item and, using her psychometric powers, received a vibration which determined the identity of the guest. She was always right. It was pretty amazing. Next time, the surprise personal item from the king of the twist, Chubby Checker. Thanks for listening.